All right. I was gonna play a game in the background while I did this, but I just don't care. Fuck, I should stop. I wanted to talk about Gozyuger right now because a lot has been on my mind since this is my long rant on Twitter. So so let's just get into that. Gozyuger. I after seeing a tweet about saying by Gotcha Go Fire saying Gozyuger would be better if it was written more like Kamen Rider. And they said they weren't going to elaborate. And I was like, I was like, I was thinking for a little bit, and I realized something. Gozyuger's writing is kind of fucking bad. It's not their fault. Like the writing is funny, it's really good, but like at the same time, it's just like the concept doesn't work with its writing at all. The issue with Gozyuger is that the writing isn't consistent with its concept. The concept, or at least from what we knew when it originally was being shown and being talked about, was that it's a show about characters who fight over a ring of power, or at least rings of power. Who these warriors who fight um for rings of power in order to make a wish on a malevolent god or being that can give them their wish. It feels like a lot of like Dragon Ball, but hey, it works. Um, the concept, they've gone through a lot of episodes and talked about the lore and stuff like that, and like that's fine, you know. But the issue with a lot of Go's user is the fact that it doesn't do anything with this kind of war, or it doesn't do anything with the concept of the Universe Warriors, the Gozyugers themselves, and even the Bryden, or at least the No Ones, feel like kind of filler. Each character, like the thing is, the Zord fights never feel boring because at least like you have a ground fight going on in the back while the main fight of the Zords is going on. That's probably the best part of the show. I will give it that. The best part of the show is probably the Zord fights because it feels like a lot like the Kira Major fight where you have the ground fight going on of red and yellow fighting on the ground while while the Zords in the back are fighting. And that's a cool visual. That's a cool idea to go off of, and it works for combat and to keep the viewer engaged to the fight because you want them to see the fight play out. And the issue with I'm sorry that meant nothing to this at all, but what I'm trying to get at is Goji's writing feels kind of flawed because it's this story about characters trying to get the rings in order to become powerful. And that's a fine storyline. That's fine. But there's so many people after these rings that kind of feels bloated in a weird way. And even the Gozuzers themselves don't feel like they should be written like this. They should be written like an unconventional team, like the Dumb Brothers. The Dumb Brothers are an unconventional team for a reason because they're weirdos and wackos that shouldn't work together as a team, but when they are together, they work as a team, and that's what I feel like Gozuger was trying to do is make these guys unconventional. They want it to be them to be a unconventional kind of team that when they're finally together, they work as a team. But the issue with Gozuger is that in the um in the Tyranno episode, or at least the Zoo Ranger episode, where the Zoo Ranger guy comes in. He's like, "Oh, you guys have to work with team 'cause, that's what a Sentai has to be." And like the issue with this is that we're bringing in a lot what Sentai is, and like that's fine, but I feel like Gozyuger as a whole should go against those ideals. And I feel like that's more fun of an idea rather than them just saying, "We're a Sentai now. That's it." And like I said, I think this idea would be way more fun if the team was an unconventional team that are really fighting over this power. Like maybe they're fighting each other and stuff like that, like in the episode and stuff like that. Like it just doesn't feel like these guys are fighting over the power. It's just like, oh, hi character. Oh, hi Et's character. I'm gonna kill you later. Okay, cool. And that's it. Like there's nothing that comes out of that interaction, and there's nothing that comes out of, and there's no things that come out of this. It's just, oh, Et's character is having a problem and they deal with it, and it's like everyone's good in the end. It's just like it doesn't feel like a show that's meant to it feels like a show that's meant to have this really cool idea of these different characters fighting each other for the rings, and it never feels like that. It never feels like they're fighting over the rings. It feels like a weird sort of dispute between characters. um The only episode that kind of really felt like that was the last one with Ryugi leaving the team because, he's fucking depressed about the summer shit, even though we didn't get that in the West. Please fucking release that Toei. Anyway, please release that Summers in Toei. Anyway, but I'm trying to get that out of this entire thing, or at least this possible short, this possible video, is the fact that what I'm trying to understand, have you guys understand my point, is that they do kind of nothing with this concept, and even the Universe Wars, and I would say sort of Brighton, or at least like the No One World guys, kind of fall in this category as well. Is that they kind of do nothing with the Universe Warriors, and it's been 30 fucking episodes, and I guess you can point to last episode, like the Battle Fever stuff, but even then, like we haven't had a long lasting like Universe Warriors since fucking Tatsunoko Tokunatsu, and that's it. Like he's been like what, like maybe 3 or 4 episodes at least. At least he was around for that long, and to be honest, I fucking forgot about him. And that's kind of the issue, is that you come up with, is that it never feels like a fight but for power or the rings. The only time it felt like that was the episode when like the the no ones are reshaping the world to their whim, and that was a fun episode. That was a very weird episode, but it was fun because it showed the consequences of how powerful Tagasort and these characters are. But a thing like that hasn't happened in so long, and it kind of feels it kind of makes the story feel very dull in a way. And I feel like Gozyuger could have been written like something like Dawn Brothers, or even something like King Oger, where each have their in King Oger, each have their own kingdom, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna rule over my kingdom, and you guys better not fuck with me, or I'm fucking with you." And that's exactly what happens in that show. Even like I said with Dawn Brothers, they're a team, but they're unconventional for a reason. They're unconventional, unconventional. They're unconventional because they're a team full of fucking wackos and weirdos who become a true team towards the end of the series. And I feel like Gozyuger was really trying to be like that, a really unconventional team of weirdos who don't really work together, but have to work together because they are forced to. And it never feels like that in the show. It always feels like, oh, they're just a Sentai. And that is a big issue when you're doing a show like this. I don't know. Maybe if it was written, I'm not saying it was written better. Again, the writer is really funny and really good at writing these characters, but it never feels like the characters are at each other's throats 24/7. It never feels like that. It never feels like any danger, or at least like you're not gonna be like, oh, I wonder who's gonna turn next, or at least, oh, I wonder if Ed's character is gonna fuck with this character or something like that. It never feels like that. It never feels like these characters are fighting with each other. It feels like kind of a sibling dispute in a weird way. And that's kind of the issue that I'm having with the Gozyuger right now. And I get why a lot of people are saying it's peak. It's because like again, we're all blinded by a lot of us are blinded by recency bias, and that's the thing that's been recently going about is recency bias. And I will say that, like I said, Gozyuger is written well when it comes to the characters and how funny the show is. But the issue I'm having with Gozyuger is that it's not written like the concept that we were given, or yeah, the concept that we're giving. The concept that we're giving is, like I said, the universe wars and the rings of power that each character is gonna fight against. And like I said, it never feels like they're fighting. It never feels like they're fighting with each other. It just never feels like that. Like I said, if you've seen an episode, again, Ed's character's like I said before, like, oh, I'm going to kill you later, and the other character's like, hey, you'll bet anytime, and it never, just nothing ever comes about. Nothing ever comes of it at all. Even like I said, the no ones. Let's go over the no ones. Um, Bouquet and Firekin are definitely the best of the group. Kuon hasn't done anything in like forever. Like I don't even remember I don't remember the last time he really contributed as a villain in the plot. He hasn't contributed in a while, and he's the only one that kind of felt like a part of the concept is another character who's fighting for the power. Even we see him killing certain characters and stuff, and I kind of wish we saw him do that more. I guess we kind of saw that in the most recent episode. But even then, right, he didn't even get the ring off of him. He just kind of said, "Oh, you're under my foot now. I guess I did sort of kill you, or you are my prey now." I don't know. Uh, it kind of feels like Kuon Kuon hasn't done anything in who knows how long. I don't remember how many episodes it's been since he's actually been a major villain in the plot, but even then, who remembers his fucking scar? Like, I just looked up his character and I remembered, wait, he has a scar that hasn't been really fleshed upon since episode 9. And that's like 9. And that's it in fucking insane that you have this plot thread of this character and nothing comes of it. To be honest, I forgot he even fucking had it in the first place. I forgot he even had the scar, and Tega June is fun, but she kind of just doesn't do anything. She kind of just sits back while waiting for the rest of her group to be like, yeah, let's get the rings now. The only people that are actually going after the rings and the people who are really trying to change the world right now feel like Bryden, even then they feel like they're doing nothing because again they're doing the monster of the week for me, and I like their monster of the week formula and the point of it. The point of it is that the no ones are like AI recreations of what an AI would think that specific personality trait would be, and that's a fun idea. While that is a fun idea, it kind of takes away from a lot of what is going on in the rest of the show, or at least what the rest of the show is meant to be. And like I said, it's a show that's meant to be. I'm sorry I'm bringing up like the show concept, but like you really need to get my fucking point. My point that I'm getting at is the show never aligns itself with the concept and it never feels like it's trying to do that concept. If that's what I'm trying to tell you is that it never lines up and it never feels like it lines up to the concept of what Gozyuger is meant to be. It's like I said, it's meant to be the show about characters fighting over this power. Make them fucking fight each other. And that's where I feel like Gotcha Go Fire is kind of saying is that it should feel like Kamen Rider, and I kind of fucking agree. In a way, each like episode should feel like each character's at their throat. It should feel like something like Geats or even Ryuki, where again they're in this survival game, and in both shows they're in the survival game where in Ryuki, um, you are meant to fight. No matter who it is, you are meant to fight. And in that world you have a character who if you have a character who is a pacifist and wants to help people, they're gonna have to do shit that they don't want to do, and that's a fun idea. Even Geats does something like this where they're a part of a game, and Kawa, one of the main characters, is a naive soft boy put in this world full of traitorous bastards who want to take advantage of him. And that's the point of these stories is that they have characters who have flaws and have nuances to them that the rest of the cast can take advantage of in a type of game. And this feels like those concepts where they're meant to be a game in this world, and it never feels like it's trying to do that concept. It never feels like it's trying to do it like I said. And if it did something like Geats or Ryuki, I feel like the show would feel a lot better. And now that I'm here, almost 20 minutes into this recording, I'm like, I kind of wish they did more with this concept that feels underdeveloped in a big way. I don't know. I hope this doesn't change your opinion on Gozyuger. I like Gozyuger so far. If I were to give a rating right now, it would probably be A tier. But because of this thought process and because of how I'm feeling right now, it's kind of moving down, and I'm kind of scared for what's gonna happen to Gozyuger. So maybe, who knows? Maybe my opinion will reach more people. Maybe my opinion will have be fucking lynched on the cross. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Rate your own opinions. Maybe I'm correct. Maybe I'm in the kitchen cooking right now. I don't know. I'm sorry I'm so scatterbrained. I'm trying to just get out my opinion, and maybe I might edit this video. Who fucking knows? I don't really care. Anyway, thank you all for sitting through my 20-minute rant, and yeah, that's it. Goodbye.